What's up, YouTube? We're back with another video. Hit that subscribe button if you're new. It's All Pro Sports Talk, the home of sports talk, and today we're going to discuss the Philadelphia Eagles mock draft for 2022. Let's get into it. So the Philadelphia Eagles have a lot of picks in this draft. A lot of picks. They got a pick from the Indianapolis Colts in the first round because Carson Wentz played over 75% of his snaps. They also have an extra first round pick as well, included with their own first round picks. They have 3 first round picks. So let's get into this. With the number 15 overall pick in the first round of the NFL draft, I have the Philadelphia Eagles selecting Ahmad Sauce Gardner, cornerback from Cincinnati. Best corner in this entire class. He stands at 6'2", 190 pounds. Great closing speed. When you see this man on film, he's a freak athlete. He's a good shutdown corner, and they need a guy across from Darius Slay to do that. Darius Slay, in my opinion, is an all-pro type of corner, even though he did get snubbed. But that being said, Ahmad Sauce Gardner is the most consistent cornerback in this class. They talk about Darius Stingley Jr. and all of that, but this man, Ahmad Sauce Gardner, in 33 games, he has 0 touchdowns allowed, 99 total tackles, 16 passes defended, and 9 interceptions. He's a ball hawking type of corner. He's a shutdown corner as well, and he's very lanky. He's very strong as well. You would like to see him get his weight up a little bit, but he plays a lot stronger on film than he actually is in person with his weight, and I think that he's going to be one of the better defenders in this entire draft class. With the 16 overall pick, back from the 15 overall pick, I have them selecting Garrett Wilson, wide receiver out of Ohio State. Now, a lot of people can say this is a pipe dream. No way he'll slip this far, but we say that every year. We don't know who will slip in the draft. And with the way my draft board works, I have them taking Garrett Wilson right here and have him slipping. One of the best receivers in the entire draft class from Ohio State. He played a cross side from Chris Olave, and he was one of the best receivers on that team. 70 receptions, 1,058 yards, and 12 touchdowns. Great explosive speed, can take the top off the defense, gets open very easy. He's very smooth. He's a quarterback's best friend. He's always open. You can have him run the complete route tree. He can be an outside receiver. He can be a slot receiver. And we do know Jalen Reagor was selected in the first round a couple of years ago. They passed on Justin Jefferson, but they made up for it when they got Devontae Smith, who is the #1 receiver on the team. They do have Dallas Goedert. You want to continue to bring in more weapons around Jalen Hurts, and getting a guy like Garrett Wilson will help this team immediately, and you can slide Jalen Reagor off. I don't think the man has a part for the Philadelphia Eagles anymore, and I think Garrett Wilson comes in and he can be that 1B to Devontae Smith's 1A. With the 19 overall pick, I have them selecting Devin Lloyd, linebacker out of Utah. Game record, and he reminds me so much of Devin White for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Devin Lloyd, man, you look at him, his entire career at college, 256 total tackles, 43 tackles for loss, 15.5 sacks, 5 interceptions, 6'3", 232 pounds of just pure steam and muscle. Can stop the run, can get to the quarterback, just a per game record. The Philadelphia Eagles need a linebacker, and they need a thumper up the middle. He reminds me so much of Devin White that is scary. You can pass rush him up the middle. He can cover up the tight end. He can jam with receivers and the slot as well when they're running those slant routes. And he's a guy that's going to cause a lot of turnover for the Philadelphia Eagles. TJ Edwards is a good linebacker, but he needs a guy beside him that can be an alpha male, and I believe that is what Devin Lloyd can do for the Philadelphia Eagles. With the 51st pick out the Philadelphia Eagles selecting Jermaine Johnson II, defensive end out of Florida State, freak athlete. What did the Philadelphia Eagles do best in their last one, their Super Bowl against the New England Patriots? They had depth on the defensive line. They had guys that go out and get the quarterback. In my opinion, this is what Jermaine Johnson can do. He is very raw, but he has shown a lot of high flash potential. He's a very fast defensive end. His last year in college, you look at him, 70 total tackles, 2 forced fumbles, 12 sacks. Physical, downhill guy, has extremely high motor, does not take plays off, and he doesn't get that many penalties as well. He's a very aggressive type of defensive end that you can mold into a way. He reminds me of Michael Parsons with the way that he plays. He does play extremely fast, and he will have to slow down, but that's what the Philadelphia Eagles need right now. They have a good pass rusher and Fletcher Cox still on their team. I believe you bring in a guy like this and match him up with Josh Sweat, it will help this defensive line get better for the next couple of years. With the 83rd pick, I have them selecting Darrian Beavers, linebacker from Cincinnati. Darrian Beavers is a very do-it-all linebacker, do-it-all guy. 252 pounds, 6'4", can pass rush, can stop the run. Look at him in 2021, 98 total tackles, 1 forced fumble, 4 sacks, 1 interception. He's a solid linebacker. The Philadelphia Eagles need to continue to build up their linebacking core with just depth. He can be good depth, and he can become a veteran good linebacker in the future, and that's what he was for the Cincinnati Bearcats. He was just a veteran linebacker. He can do it all. He doesn't miss assignments. He's not going to wow you with any plays, but he's a guy that's going to be consistent. He doesn't miss on tackles, and he can also stop the run as well. With the 120th pick, I've been selecting Jeremy Rucker, tight end from Ohio State. The Philadelphia Eagles traded Zach Ertz early last season to the Arizona Cardinals, and Dallas Goedert has been that guy, but they need a number 2 type of tight end, and that's what Jeremy Rucker can be. He can space out the field, be a good vertical threat. He does need work with his blocking, but I think in this Philadelphia Eagles type of team, this type of system, they'll love to run a 2 tight end situation. Him and Dallas Goedert are very similar when it comes to the way that they move their bodies and the way they can make catches. Jeremy Rucker has good soft hands, can be a good red zone target, and you cannot put a regular safety on this man. It will have to be a linebacker because of how big he is and how strong he is. He's 6'5", 250 pounds, and the average safety cannot contain him as well when he was at the Ohio State University. So I think getting a guy like Jeremy Rucker will help this team and help the development of Jalen Hurts. With the 152nd overall pick, I'm selecting Hassan Haskins, running back from Michigan. Miles Sanders did get hurt in the season. They need to use him more, in my opinion. He broke a bone in his hand. Hassan Haskins can come in and take that load away. They can become a ground and pound team for sure. When you look at him with Jalen Hurts, he can run the football. You're missing some option runs with him and Miles Sanders. But you look at Hassan Haskins, big, powerful running back, big bowling ball. You can put him in those goal line type of situations. He can be that Marshawn Lynch type of running back. He doesn't have the speed, but he does stand at 6'1", 220 pounds, very physical runner. He had 1,327 yards rushing in his last season in college, and also 5 yards to carry and 20 touchdowns. He can hurdle defenders as well, and he can stiff arm defenders. He can make some guys miss in open space. If you are a corner that only weighs 190 pounds and below, you may be in deep trouble because this man has a nasty stiff arm and a nasty hurdle as well, and I believe that he will help the Philadelphia Eagles rushing attack more than it has been before with this team and Jalen Hurts. With the 160 overall pick, I've been selecting Ed Ingram, offensive guard from LSU. The Philadelphia Eagles need to continue to build up depth on this team. It's what they had when they won the Super Bowl against the New England Patriots. They had depth on the offensive side of the football, on the offensive line and on the defensive line as well. Having a guy like Ed Ingram who can be a plug and play guy. He can play all over the entire offensive line. You would love for him to be left guard, center, or right guard. He can play any 3 of those positions for you. He can play tackle as well, but he does not have the speed and the intangible to stick with the fastest pass rushers in the entire NFL. But he does have the ability to be a strong, stout guy, which he is, and which he was with LSU. Very versatile on the offensive line when it comes to being an interior lineman. And he has very extreme potential. When you look at him get to the second unit and get to the second level of the defense, he can knock out some safeties and linebackers as well if they're undersized. But he does need to work on his speed a little bit, but I think he could be a good developmental piece for the Philadelphia Eagles. With the 164th pick, I'm selecting Zachary Franklin, wide receiver from UTSA. I know a lot of people are like, who? He comes from a small school, but he has great vertical speed. He's not a guy that can run the complete route tree yet, but speed kills in the NFL. And that's what Jalen Hurts would love to do, to throw the ball more deep down the middle of the field and on the outside. He's a guy that can play in the slot. He can play on the outside as well. And when I look at what Jalen Reagor was not able to produce for this team, he can bring extra juice. You can put Zachary Franklin in a lot of situations, in a lot of situations of PA end around systems. You can also do a lot of jailbreak screens for him as well. You can throw the football to him. He's a good post route runner, but him going straight down the line speed, no one can contain that and open up things for the other players on this offense. With the 193rd pick, I've been selecting Jalen Foster, safety from South Carolina, ball hawk safety, good tackler. He can play dime linebacker for you, and he can play single high safety. In 13 games, he had 5 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles, very explosive, and his upside is very crazy and high. The Philadelphia Eagles need more depth at that safety position. He's not a guy that I would trust to be a starter day one, but as the season progresses and gets on, he gets some more experience. He can be that type of safety for you. Like I say, he's a guy that is very good at creating turnovers and very good at getting his nose to the ball. And I believe when you look at the way that he's able to transition into just being a safety to linebacker, what he did with South Carolina, he played a lot of dime linebacker, like I said, and a lot of safety. He can tackle well, and he's very good at taking the football away from the opposing team. And with the last pick in this NFL draft, with the 270 With this 207th overall pick, I have them selecting Chris Paul. Not that Chris Paul from the Phoenix Suns, the Chris Paul, offensive guard from Tulsa. Like I said earlier in the video, they need more depth in this offensive line. He has a lot of high upside. He's a very strong, stout offensive lineman. He can pass block very well. It's just his run blocking, and you give him the ability to do that this late in the draft. You're just looking for a guy with high upside, a good offensive lineman that can be very versatile. They say he can be offensive guard. He can actually play tackle a lot better than Ed Ingram can for LSU that mocked to him with the 160 overall pick. The thing is, Chris Paul, 6'4", 324 pounds. He's very raw, but he has shown some things that he can be a good offensive lineman. His last year in Tulsa, he gave a little to no sacks and little to no pass rushing on his sides as well. And I believe the Philadelphia Eagles need this type of guy. They can develop these type of guys as well on the offensive line with their track history. So let's do an overview of this draft. With the 15 overall pick, I'm selecting Ahmad Sauce Garner, cornerback from Cincinnati. With the 16 overall pick, I'm selecting Garrett Wilson, wide receiver from Ohio State. With the 19 overall pick, I'm selecting Devin Lloyd, linebacker from Utah. With the 51st pick, I'm selecting Jermaine Johnson, the second defensive end from Florida State. With the 83rd overall pick, I'm selecting Darren Beavers, linebacker from Cincinnati. With the 120th overall pick, I have the Philadelphia Eagles selecting Jeremy Rucker, tight end from Ohio State. With the 152nd overall pick, I have the Philadelphia Eagles selecting Hassan Haskins, running back from Michigan. With the 160 overall pick, I have the Philadelphia Eagles selecting Ed Ingram, offensive guard from LSU. With the 164th overall pick, I have the Philadelphia Eagles selecting Zachary Franklin, wide receiver from UTSA. And with the 193rd overall pick, I have them selecting Jalen Foster, safety from South Carolina. And with the last pick in this draft at 207 overall, I have them selecting Chris Paul, offensive guard from Tulsa. If you like this video, please hit the like button. If you are new to this channel, please hit the subscribe button. Most importantly, I want each and every last one of you guys stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for watching my video, guys. Peace.